Yeah, you want me to sit here and just have each presenter switch spots up there, or how?
Sorry?
Is this going to be a panel discussion where we all sit up here, or do you want us to sit here while each presenter is?
I think it's better we sit here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sit here. And we can hold this here shoulder.
Yeah, there's a very third generation.
You done? How are you? Hi, Alex.
Hi, yeah.
Great. Okay.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are starting right now, and friends back there, do you mind to, sitting in the front row? That would be really appreciated. And nice to meet you all, everyone. This is Ethan. I'm from Bangkok Crypto Club, and some of you might know me, some of you may not. And we have our first event on last Thursday happening here. And we had quite a successful event, and I'm really, really happy to see a few of you guys again at this event. So before we officially start our event, I would like to give a little introduction about what Bangkok Crypto Club is, what CryptoMonday is, because actually we have a quite long-lasting event called Satoshi Square, happening every month as well. And some of people actually are asking why we have Satoshi already and we are having another day event. So I do believe in the future that when our community is growing bigger and bigger, we will have many events happening on the same day, and actually work with quite different, how to say, audiences, or we are doing quite different styles of events. Some will be more casual, and Crypto Monday is gonna quite like project sharing. So that's why we invite so many speakers, not just in Thailand, but also they're coming from all the way from China, from other countries to fly here just for the event to share their project to everyone. So I might need to change my microphone here. Crypto Monday. Okay. Is there any problem with the stereo right here? Or it's the problem of the microphone? Okay, this guy just pretending to fixing that, but he has no idea how to fix that.
Maybe I can just get rid of the microphone. I think everyone can hear me. Okay. CryptoMonday is an initiative launched in New York City in January 2018 by Crypto Oracle. Currently, there are over 30 active CryptoMondays community globally. CryptoMonday is about building local communities of like-minded people who are passionate about crypto, gathering to share their views, network, with the goal of strengthening their local crypto communities. And what about about BangkokCryptoClub is that we are an event-driven integrated marketing company, provide one-stop event and marketing services for global clients who are intent to expand their business in South and East Asia. So that's just a bit introduction before the event. Oh, and there are the list of Crypto Mondays now. Actually, right now Bangkok is starting our first event, though we are still small, but I do believe we're gonna grow bigger and bigger than like Crypto Mondays in Shanghai, because I was helping organizing Crypto Monday Shanghai when I was working in Shanghai, and we had around like 100 people every event, and we don't have enough chairs and people actually standing there, and some of them might even not working in this industry. They're just passionate and they just love to talk about crypto and blockchain, so they just come. So yeah, and really thrilled to have more people with us and having more people know that's what Crypto Monday is in the future. Okay, so we have 4 guests today, and Kyle Lu, and he is the CEO of Dev.com. He's actually still stuck on the road because it's his first time to be in Bangkok, and I'm felt to warn him the traffic in Bangkok night. So yeah, and our second guest is Qian Lei, CEO of Unitopia. Where is Mr. Qian? Yeah, he's here. Welcome. And Tu Yu, marketing director of Unitopia. And you can also call she Olivia. And Jeremy Bush, corporate strategy director from Lucid. Okay, welcome all. And well, initially Kyle's gonna be our first speaker, so I'm gonna invite Olivia to be our first speaker tonight to share with us, a decentralized and entertainment group platform based on blockchain. So welcome, Olivia.
Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My English name is Olivia. You're welcome to call me Olivia. The marketing director working for Media. It's a decentralized platform based on blockchain. It provides a group of learners and participants with transparent with the innovative ground environment. An issue of Unity is a variety of group data and processing users' data. Okay, sorry, I forgot to tell all you guys why we call the Unitopia. It's a new word, Unit and Utopia. So we just call it Unitopia. And it's directly concentrate each part of the intergroup ecologic chain in a digitalized structure to achieve within guarantee of each group participant. And we are focused on games and communities. It's the first blockchain game in China. It's a most sound form game based on blockchain in China. We call it Wanlim. It's closed and initiated in May 2018. And Wanlim had 300,000 registered rules and average is 25,000 active users per day. It's the second blockchain game we are making now. It's the first online table game based around blockchain and its technology. We have a correct with Ori. It's a public chain team in China. And in here we are developed a game that plays properly and supporting traditional online table games with functionalities such as cartoon time, limited 1 second. It would be the most amazing experience of blockchain table game we have. And this is the third game we are wanting to do. Is the first virtual card education game. It's based on blockchain in the world. In addition to register users can talk with virtual stars in a related life. We are a sidechain technology team. We have a cooperation with the blockchain and Ori and GX chain and Devili. This is our two solution. We have the offering in virtual WASM. We use this WASM. We have exclusive virtual machine, and it could support JavaScript and smart Ori. Because we are servers for some blockchain gamers, so we know what they need. We provide the very basic library, and for sure, the game developer could introduce the second library into. We have in the future, gamers could programming the games, how is it going. So we want to use the DFL technology to help program, to help common gamers to know how to programming. So we use DFL technology to help traditional gamers to know how to program. This is our marketing plan because I'm the marketing director in here. So we just focus on connective positioning and influence building, concept value, launch the users participation. This is the development route. You need to hear your version 1 where we are now in the November 28. The data users, the game users data important for electricity source. It's a top 10 in internet games in China because electronic store has a big gamers in China. So we have a good relationship with this company. So this company can give us a lot of game users data, and the user data in front from business partners. I will introduce another business partners next page. Unitopia version 2 will be online in 2018 May. And the game makers will join Unitopia in May 2019. Unitopia 15 version will be online in June 2019. In the end, we will share all the game users' data from Unitopia Knowledge in September 1920. This is our team with the payout and there he will be the panel discussion leader, the CTO, and the blockchain chip programmer, they all of them on the SP. This is our partners. So this is what I mentioned. The first start of online game in China, electronic store. The registered users is 1 million. Domestic active users is 200,000 per day. Abroad active users is 100,000 per day. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Olivia. And I would like to invite our next guest, Jeremy Bush. He's currently based in Chiang Mai. So he actually flies over from Chiang Mai to Bangkok for this event. Thank you, Jeremy. He's former project manager and senior accountant at Shapeshift LLC. Jeremy quickly turned his focus towards the exchange of digital assets within the video game industry. He believes that Asia is set to become a leader in digital asset market making and being on the forefront of esports. So let's welcome Jeremy. Yeah.
Okay, we're all here for gaming. So how many gamers? How many people play video games in this room? Just make sure I know the audience. Okay, I have a few. No, you never played. Okay. Have you done internet? Internet? No? Scary stuff. Okay. Well, we all played games kind of growing up, and I think one of the things that our parents would tell us is stop wasting your time doing that. But if there's a way to kind of turn that into a monetary incentive, as we see kind of the esports league going, this is where crypto really unlocks the potential for us to hold those assets and really gain from what we like to call sweat equity. And so it's owning your own adventure is kind of our slogan for our company. So as you put your time and effort into these things, you should be able to essentially create a portfolio of your digital assets. And at some point, they will mean something in the later future, we hope. One of our goals is to ensure that that happens. So, made by gamers, for gamers, we say it's a game development platform that establishes real, mutable ownership over virtual assets and empowers developers. That's just a mouthful. What we offer for all game developers and players alike is the ability to create your own digital assets, whether for in your game or to submit to your favorite game. And with that, you can work with developers out there that are building games that we all love to play and contribute some of the things that come up in your mind that makes you such a creative person, not just within the team, but now the whole world can kind of create their own digital assets and submit them for approval within these things. The other beautiful thing about this is when you do that and you buy a game item, it's typically you're stuck in the sphere of those games and you're not able to trade those games. And another really difficult thing is you're not able to take those cross-platform. So oftentimes when you play like a PS4 and I have my favorite game and I love playing it and I put, okay, I'm just going to say this, 800 hours because it's true. And now I want to go to PC because all my friends are going to PC. Well, I usually have to start all over. It costs game developers a lot of money to be able to move all of that. And really with blockchain technologies, you're verifying all of the assets that you own. So you're easily transferable to other systems. Looking at the market right now, virtual asset market being only $80 billion and video game market being $103 billion. Gamers spend more than $80 billion a year, and we're just getting started. You know, as soon as we get you on board, it's going to be $81 billion probably. But I'm hoping, you know, as we continue on, this number is only going to get bigger. And as we see in the Asian region, video games are huge. But the problem is gamers don't own these virtual goods when they buy the game, buy them in games. Players lose investments in virtual assets when games become obsolete. And lack of trust, because virtual assets can be devalued or rendered worthless by the game developers themselves. We're really at a disadvantage. And a lot of us are here because blockchain enables us to be our own custodian of banking, of assets. So there's no certain party that's going to tell us what it's worth. We can value that between peer-to-peer transactions. We have an easy-to-use infrastructure. Everybody is creating games now on Unity and the Unreal platform. And so we're planning to work with a lot of these smaller indie game developers to help them build out their marketplaces and make them easily communicate with blockchain technology. We offer pre-built tools and packages for easy building. You can use a variety of programming languages, which saves on cost and time, having to hire additional developers. Hacked and theft resistant. As we all know, if you don't hold cryptocurrencies or tokens on exchanges and you hold them to yourself, it's very hard for those to be stolen. Protected gamer rights, immutable ownership over virtual assets. No one can come in and claim my assets. Combats fraud and abuse because scarcity is shown out there within the systems. A game developer can't make your asset worthless because they can just print 1 million copies of that item. So it's all out there for you to be provable fair asset odds. Oftentimes gamers buy booster packs and they also buy loot boxes. Well, during certain events in these games, oftentimes game developers will try to incentivize people with sales because, oh, you can get Santa Claus outfit, or you can get a Halloween outfit or something, but a lot of times those odds get reduced. And so gamers will buy more and more, hoping that they're going to get that one skin or that one item. And with this, we have provably fair odds. That's why gambling's been taking off in the blockchain space, because you can roll dice and you can set your own, gambling on. Obviously, you got to have at least a, small percentage house edge, but it's all there and tracked. We offer that safe marketplace to trade, buy, and sell these and create liquidity within those individual games. So if you have, your WoW game, that's where you're going to sell your items. So we give them the ability to have that marketplace. And you have that full transparency of blockchain. Each time one of those assets moves, you're going to see from which address to another address. As you can see, gamers worldwide, there's 2.3 billion gamers, and only about $150 million right now is being used within the virtual asset trading. We're at baby steps at this point, and with the rest of the world agreeing on digital value, gamers are going to be the first adopters, so we're looking to capture more of the gamers worldwide. I won't give you too many product details here. If any developers are interested in it, we can certainly provide some more information regarding that. A small preview of kind of our interface. We're not sexy, we're just showing you kind of the basic, functionality that's out there. We're a working product, and I think that's where our edge lies compared to a lot of our competitors. Regarding our roadmap as well, some of these things, most of these things have been accomplished. One thing we haven't is privacy function. So we're still pushing for that at this point. So while a lot of people were working on funding and so forth, and now we're working on a product, we're making things work. We're making sure that our items are secure, because as soon as security goes out the window and these contracts don't work, you're worthless as a company. 2019 is going to be a big kickoff for us, and we're really excited. This is kind of me kicking off the marketing campaign here in Asia. And so once we've been VC backed and we're ready to go forward, we're going to plan a pretty large hiring spree and working with a pretty low-cost team right now. We can withstand this bear market no problem. So rather than jumping the gun, we've slowed it down. We focused on what we want to message out there to the community. We're going to offer this free for any kind of smaller indie game developers or small users out there. We describe it as a hobby. Anybody can, lots of dApps out there. There's tons of dApps. You can create a blockchain game, no problem. So we're going to offer all these SDKs open source so you can do your own thing with our tools. As you grow as a company, you're going to grow with us, and we can provide more support to those dApps that show to be successful. So we offer the $30 a month for indies, and then when we talk about AAA titles, we're going to definitely add on, it's going to be $100 a month for each ERC contract that's going to be associated. A few events that we're looking at, integrations. You know, when anybody says that they're integrated or partnered with Unity Unreal, anybody can do that. So don't be tricked by that, you know, but we enjoy showing that because, yeah, we're also working with Unity Unreal game developers out there. A brief description of our plan for use of funds. You know, we have a whole budget behind this. I won't get into this. A lot of this is pitch deck material for investments, but will not bore you with that. The most important thing is our team. Matt was also working over at Shapeshift with me as well, and has since left. If you're familiar with the dApp called Prism, he was the creator of that. We have Mike Semlar, Michael Romano, and David Tomre, all very knowledgeable experts in their field, and most importantly, all of us being very passionate gamers. A couple other devs and volunteers as it stands now with our project, and just a few of our advisors as well. Otherwise, that's it. Thanks, guys.
So I wasn't supposing you guys finishing like within 20 minutes. And,
That was quick.
yeah, and our next speaker who's supposed to be here 5 minutes ago are still on the road, and he promised me that he will be here in 5 minutes. So yeah, probably maybe we could talk, maybe move forward to our panel, and we could talk more couple questions. We had our panel discussion questions with, and maybe while we're waiting for him, you know, we can just
Yeah, and before that, I mean obviously I'll have to open the floor for questions.
Yeah, of course. That would be also great. And also questions for Olivia, also for Jeremy. Just raise your hand. And we're gonna have our gift. Yeah.
Well, now I saw you listed as you on Ethereum, but you listed that you might change to other blockchains. It looked like a Dano or Neo or something.
Yes.
What would force that change? What would make you switch?
So as it stands now, it's going to be our first developer partnership because we want to make sure that we're allocating resources during this time because we're limited. So whatever mainnet that our developers choose to be their performance network, we will change the language for them. Does that make sense? You're looking at me like, I'm not sure I understand. Well, no, so, you know, like Ethereum's easy. We're all building and working off of that. And talking with the company prior, we don't really want Ethereum, we want Ripple, right? We're happy to open that door, but as it stands right now, we're focusing on our contracts and improving those, then converting our code over for someone. So until someone signs the dotted line, we're not going to convert for every mainnet out there because of our small development team.
So right now you just support Ethereum?
I'm sorry?
Right now you just support Ethereum?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions?
Are there many competitors?
Of course. It's a decentralized world out here, right? A main competitor right now for us would be Wax, which is backed by Steam, and also Engine Coin, and also Ford Exchange is another one. And there's so many more that, I mean, I could Google and go endless steps, but those are the most notable ones that when I see progress being put out there and looking through some of the repos and what they've offered at other events, those are the ones.
What's different about your approach?
Well, specifically, is we're a low-cost team. where a lot of these companies are pretty big budget and were terrific during the bull run. We survived through that, so it shows the financial responsibility of the company. And looking for our first partnership will give us them our undivided attention as well. So I think that gives us advantage in a lot of ways, and not to mention seeing how the ICO route went for a lot of people. And so we kind of took back our ICO model and decided to take a better look on what projections and market simulations are associated with that, because we don't need the volatility that's, you know, a lot of these see as well. And so, but I think working product is number one. Steam doesn't even have a marketplace. So, wow, why aren't we on, you know, number 90 or 100 somewhere on CFC? It all comes down to, you know, who's backing the project. Thanks. Good question.
Did you say you have a token, like an ICO?
No. We decided to pull that for the time because of so much that happened with ICOs that we believe that, yeah, it doesn't make you sound very good when you're, I have an ICO for you. Yeah, I bet you do. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question for Olivia.
Yeah.
I was wondering, what's your business model I mean, you're having a lot of games that's available.
The first we have done is William. It's a first slot game in China. It's like CryptoCat.
Yeah, I understand that. More importantly, how would Unitopia make money out of it?
Yeah.
How do you guys make money? 你们怎么样赚钱呢?
We can because we get a lot of data users.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you will buy some UPA, the same coin.
Okay. All right. So by buying the coins, I mean, I'm not more interested in how.
We don't get it already. We just put the game on our public chain, on another public chain.
Okay.
Yeah.
I still just want to know how 你们的公司怎么样赚钱
Maybe yeah, you can translate
Okay.
I can translate for Mr. Chen. Yeah.
我们的
你们的商业模式
你们的 business model 是怎么样的？
就是商业模型是吧？
怎么赚钱？
我说嘛，
你说我帮你翻译。
是这样的。
I'll translate for.
本身我们是一个游戏公司，
They are a game company.
是在中国比较知名的游戏开发商。
They're quite a famous game developer and has been running for over 10 years.
这个项目本身会有很多我们自己开发的游戏内容。
They develop the game as a project as well.
就像刚刚看到那个万利马的游戏，那个给我们赚了很多钱。
They made a lot of money by that game. They introduced before.
然后我说一下 UPA 的商业模型，就是 Unitopia 的商业模型。Unitopia 的商业模型是这样的，一方面就是说，我们 Unitopia 的底层是一个侧链的一个针对游戏的一个解决方案。
So he was talking about the business model of Unitopia. Unitopia, the fundamental, the basic chain was the side chain solution for game developers.
然后如果游戏开发者需要在我们的解决方案上开发游戏，那么他需要提供 UPA 作为抵押。
So if other projects want to develop game on their chain, they need to by giving them the UPI, the token, UPA, the token of to deposit the token.
第二个就是游戏之间的资产的，就是代币的转移需要有一定的手续费，这个手续费是必须要用 UPA 支付的。
They charge service fees as UPA token during the circulation of the game assets.
Okay, so your business model is very close to Tencent. You are the developer. You are also the publisher, right?
所以你们既是游戏发行，你们又是游戏服务商。
Tencent 你们知道吗 ？Tencent 对，你们的 business model 跟 Tencent 比较像样，因为你们是 developer， 你们也是 publisher， 你们 control 那个 publishing platform， 你要放进你的区块链就要给你们钱嘛，跟 Tencent 的 business model。
但是它的费用会很低。
对。
而且是这样的，我们提供的解决方案是，能让游戏完全上链，不需要重新把服务器来，就完全上链，就刚 this is token， 就是它是资产上链，你刚刚听了，它资产上是游戏资产上链，我们是做到游戏的逻辑上面，就是游戏的整个都在 blockchain。
He was talking that actually they're quite similar. They're like decentralized version of Tencent. If you guys know what Tencent is, Tencent is currently one of the biggest game publisher and developer in China. So they are both publisher and developer. And the most different thing, let's say compare like maybe Lucid and Unitopia, they could decentralize the whole game system, not just the game asset, but the whole system.
然后我们刚刚看到的，我们有个 poker game 是 on blockchain， 然后我们有 demo， 就是我们已经做出可以玩的版本。
They have a demo for the poker game. They introduced the
牛是吗？
对，是 poker game， 就是中国的 Chinese。
poker game。
中国的一种棋牌游戏，就是 poker
game。Online table game. Online table game.
我会玩，其实。我那个我买。
They're already getting one user here. Online table game. Okay. And your 你们的第一个万里马有多少 user？
大概是30万，3个月，我们上线了3个月。对。我们4个月，我们6月份上线。
They got online for the game 万里马 for 4 months, and they've already attracted 30,000 users on this game.
对，那个流水现在。
300,000。30万，300千，300,000。
Yeah, that's quite a nice.
然后那个流水过千万人民币，对 ，RMB 是过千万。
Okay, so
one million over, 1 million over.
No, it's 10 million.
10 million
RMB.
1000万是吧？1000万。
The transaction amount of the whole game is 10 million RMB. Okay, any other questions for Olivia and his team and Mr. Chen about probably like game situation in China or?
你们 Tencent 那边会给你们麻烦吗？Tencent 那边会给你们麻烦吗？
腾讯那边有没有？
是这样的，就是我们认为 blockchain game 是一个很好的一个方向，就是未来游戏发展的方向。
Okay, so that one is asking like is Tencent gonna give them any trouble on the obstacle on developing their company?
腾讯现在就是我们是率先布局区块链游戏的，现在国内的大型像腾讯、网易都没有，现在还没有开始做。对。
So the game developers, giant game developers in China right now, like Tencent, NetEase, they actually haven't started their blockchain game development yet. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
我刚看了这个项目的game 号，就是代码，我看了一下，已经半年没更新了。
Okay.
现在他们是就是代码上面是什么样的，去做什么样的工作？我刚看过。
Okay, so Mr. Chen has a question for Jeremy.
Yeah.
So he just took a look of your code on GitHub, and he just noticed that you haven't been updating your code for half a year. So what's the problem with the code? Or it's done.
It's done.
It's done. Oh, okay. Because it's done, so you have maybe updating the code, or you will be maintaining the code like regularly.
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
But it's done.
It's done.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
How many do you want?
I definitely encourage you to, take a look, yeah.
Okay. Okay, good. Okay, thank you guys. So finally, we have our last speaker over, Kyle, and
Sorry, guys.
being late for like 2 hours.
I was studying the BangkokCryptoClub.
Yeah, it's my fault. It's my fault because I didn't warn him about how bad the traffic is gonna be in China.
I took 3 cabs to get here. Yeah.
Okay.
one got into an accident, one got like 2 meters out of the place. It's like 20 minutes away, and then another one.
Okay, so Kyle is the CEO of Dev.com and also was the vice president of Agent. And it's an agent-based blockchain platform. And he is also a serial entrepreneur in big data and mobile internet. So let's welcome Kyle to give us talk about what Dev.com is and also the market insights of that. Welcome.
Do I use any of this?
Actually, the microphone like a bit lower. This one I'm gonna.
But where's my slide?
I'm getting it for
how
you
many
right
of
now.
you guys heard Dev.com? Like one. Okay.
2.
3. Okay. 5, 4. Okay.
Okay, here
And
it
how
goes.
many of you guys follow devs? Okay. Okay. How many of you guys like play any dev games or use any devs? What do you play? What?
Testing out some dice games.
Oh, dice games. So gambling. What do you? Sorry? Oh, you said which one do you use? Hyper. Okay. And sorry? What that do you? Okay, no. What else? Okay.
IDEX. Do you call
Sorry?
IDEX at the app?
Sorry?
IDEX. It's a blockchain.
Okay, IDEX. Okay. Yeah, so I think at least a lot of people know about that. So so about us. So right now, we are literally the biggest dev marketplace and data analytics sites for decentralized applications. So we also help people to understand what decentralized technology is and why is it good and how to like use all of them with confidence and analyze which steps are good, which one is bad because they are not free. So what is that? Why is it important? So for those who haven't used any of them yet, so it has a front end like any of the centralized applications that we've used in our code, and then it put their backend code in the decentralized network like blockchain, Ethereum, EOS, all of these. So why is it important? So when you search that, there are a lot of articles tells you about why is it good. Like so it emphasizes decentralization. So when we use, say for example, when we use there's a few things happen over the past half a year. Like so when people in China, so when people go to like JD.com, which is the Amazon in China. So when we're searching for the same products, it shows different price to different people. And then when we are go to online and play some games, it like when we play slot machine, so they shows these are numbers of prizes you'll be getting, but they're actually changing the rates of winning. So that's like put the open source code on the back on the blockchain, and then everyone knows how it's being operated. So it's no one's controlling it, and it's transparent. And then secondly, what's important is ownership. So there's 2 kinds of ownership. So anything you publish on the decentralized network, so no one can delete it from you. Say I quote a lot of Chinese things during my presentation because I follow a lot of the news. So there was another news that came out also a few months ago. So there were people like posting about like some where's the word? Anyway, like there's some big guys from the government that done really bad things. So when people are trying to like publish these kind of informations, so they block all the medias. So when people start searching for the news, they can't find anything until there's another guy. He posts it on the Ethereum network. So no one can delete it, And then everyone is sharing the links on Interscan, so people go into it and click about it and know what's going on. So it happens on dApps. Like, so when people post on Steemit or post on other decentralized social networks, those information cannot be monetized or cannot be changed by the operators. And then there's another kind of ownerships. For example, everyone hears about CryptoKitty. So once you got the kitties, unless you lose your private key, it belongs to you. And then it's something happening very interesting. It's like CryptoKitty is building the kittyverse. So basically, what happens is like, so the kitties have been created, and but in the old world, like for example, if Tencent develop a game, so other company cannot like do anything with it. But right now with CryptoKitty, you can basically develop something on top of CryptoKitty. You have Kitty, and then I created a game called Kitty Race. So you can use your CryptoKitty to race in my game. And then there's another company, do another one called Kitty Fight. So the kitty can go with another fight. So they're building like a more collaborated and more open space. And so today I'm here to share about like that. And so this is a trend. So I picked this as a start because that's what they are. CryptoKitties, they are crypto celebrities, all these collectibles games launch, and then ever since then until the end of last year, it goes to 100. So that's Google Trends. When it goes to 100 means it's the most popular, it's the hottest item to be searched. So afterwards, it remains at a very top level on the search. And so this is some of the stats on the Ethereum blockchains. So we also choose on June last year to start, and by June of 2017, we have 11 dApps. I mean that's been recorded by dApp.com. So right now we're listing over 1,000 dApps from Ethereum, from Neo, from EOS. So we took those numbers, and then they are the numbers of users was 33K. So meaning to say, number of users means to say the address has interacted with the smart contract of any of the dApps. Any questions? Okay, and then towards last month, so we have on Ethereum we have 900 dApps we created, and then there were more that we might lost track, but we basically cover all of them. And then the number of transactions like accumulated, it has reached over 10 million either. That's how much? That's like 2 billion. So at current price. So meaning to say like there's so much money involved with the dApps in over a year. And we look at all the numbers here. So we have over 80 times in the number growth in the number of dApps being created, and we have and in terms of users, they are over 30 times increase over the past year. So can we have a conclusion that okay, well, it's very big, but when we look at the other numbers, so this is the numbers that when an account have interacted with any of the dApps, like decentralized exchange, like games, collectibles, and all this. But how many total number of wallets were created on Ethereum blockchain by last month? Do you guys have any idea? Take a guess. How many Ethereum wallet address were created? Close to 43 million. So meaning to say it's only 2% of the Ethereum users had used that. And then we also look at the comparisons on the last half a year to Q3, and then we see that okay, it seems like it's going down,
a bit. And when we compare the numbers, it's not even half of what happened in first half. So, and then there are a lot of articles start talking about, okay, Ethereum is like going down already because no one is using it. People are going to develop things on EOS. Neo is more user friendly than that. It's true, but also not true. So for those people who might have experience playing a game on Ethereum, what I did, like when I started doing that documents, I did a lot of research. I basically played over 200 games or whatever product that was built on Ethereum. So what happened at that time? So there was one game. It was called. It's like something called like rock paper scissors. It's very simple. So they put it on the smart contracts, and then so I pressed start, and then I waited, and then the result came out, and then I know if I win or I lose. If I lose certain amount of ether. If I win, I got the ether from the other one. So what happened is like, so I press it, I waited for 5 minutes, and then I went out for lunch, and then I come back, it just finished. That's how slow it was on Ethereum. And it's also not very user friendly. So to play any of the games or use any of the tools that were built on Ethereum, you have to have ether. You have to pay. You have to spend, like if you buy publicly, you have to pay a certain amount either. If you like want to press the play the game, like every step you move, you have to spend either as gas fee. And you have to have Chrome. You have to have MetaMask as a tool. So basically, it's very complicated. That's why there's only 2% of the people who are holding either are willing to try that, and it's slow as well. And we look at the category. We actually we should start with this one. So that's some of the famous that were built on Ethereum. So CryptoKitty, a lot of people know. So when it begins in last year, Q4, these are all the collectible games. So right now they're adding like more gameplay feature. Like Ethereum one, they have like adventure modes and a lot of other new stuff to play around with. And then and then towards the end of the year, they start to have a lot of decentralized applications, exchanges. So Portfolio was launched, and then there were some financial tools as well. So it's like Etherland. So they're powered by the smart contracts. So you send your altcoins into the contracts. You can borrow Ether or USDT from them. So then there are a lot of this kind of dApps that were created. So this is a decentralized trader. And then there are more games coming up. And then in the second quarter of 2018, they start to build a lot of idle games. So meaning to say you buy a character in the game, so it can it will start mining or something like that. So you create a lot more tokens like from that. So basically it's like similar to Ponzi scheme. And then you start to have a lot of Ponzi scheme already. Have everyone knows about this one or Formal 3D? It's the most famous Ponzi scheme in the world of that. So in the peak time, in one day, it has like by USD, the trading volume was 15 million in one day. So how is it played? Okay, I'll just show you. I'm not here to promote Ponzi scheme, but it's a very fun mechanism. So what happens is there's something called key in the game. So you come in and then you can buy the key. So you deposit certain amount either, and then you get certain amount of key. And then the next people come in to buy keys, and then you can share dividends based on certain percentage of the amount of money they put into the game. And then when more people involved, so you got more dividends. That's the Ponzi. And then what's more funny? How does it keep a lot of people coming in? You also have this mechanism that is a month price pool. So half of the money will go to the prize pool. So when more people come in, there are more pool more money in the pool. And then every time when you buy a key, it adds 30 minutes to the clock. So there's a clock there. So, and then the max is 24 hours. So when you are the last one who buy the key, so meaning that after you buy it, after 30 minutes, no one buy it. 30 seconds, sorry. No one buy, you win all the prize from that. So there were over 20,000 Ether on the money pool at the end. And that's created the most successful Ponzi scheme on Earth. And yeah, and then afterwards, because we also mentioned that dApps are open source, and then there are a lot of people they start copying their code and then make another one. So they are formal 3D, they are formal like formal sport, formal whatever. So every time there is something new invented, a lot of new dApps, new copycat were created on the blockchain. And then luckily, and then what's new? What's new trend right now in this month? The trend is betting game. A lot of casino, a lot of gambling on blockchain, on Ethereum. So because like we just mentioned, it's very transparent. We know how is it going to win, like what is the rate of winning, and what are we able to get. And so that's why the new trend is betting. And then so people have conclusion. Okay, people are just putting a lot of crap on the Ethereum blockchain. This is not innovation. That's not something high tech. They just put in some illegal stuff on it. So then when we look at the number of new dApps we created in the Q3, so there are less games than it used to be. There are more betting games, more game modes, but so are these all bad stuff happening on the Ethereum blockchain? It's actually no. So among these games, what we see, first of all, there are more like bigger game developers or more like good-sized gaming studio was coming into the game. So they are building high-quality stuff. For example, Bot Sunchain, which is so far the biggest game that we're building on Ethereum. It hasn't launched yet, but it is pre-selling some of the assets, and then it was backed by Coinbase and other big funds. When it launched in the end of the year, it's going to be the biggest decentralized game on Earth. And then there are MLB, so they're bringing big IPs into the industry, and so people are creating more high quality stuff. Usually, when I think a lot of people know about games here, when I talk to the game developers, it usually takes at least 6 months to 9 months to build something really like playable, like regardless of if it is on blockchain or not on blockchain. So it takes time. And then also we're seeing that so this gambling game or Ponzi scheme, they're aiming at a longer run. So in the old times when people build about this, they don't care about like what is my longer plan or what is my roadmap. So they build some stuff, they create some cute little features, and then they start selling until no one is buying back from them. So it's very short term. When we look at the dApps that were created on the end of last year and Q1 this year, they have a very short time, like usually less than a quarter. But right now, these guys are lasting longer. It's already like the game is already different. And so so this is part of our quarterly report that we're gonna produce and release in the next week. And then I also want to share some interesting fun facts here. So like we said, so dApps is still in its infancy. A lot of people know about how good is it, but it has a lot of limitations. So it's not user friendly. The blockchain Ethereum might be slow sometimes. I mean, the prices drop a lot, and the gas fee is cheaper. That's good stuff. And also, And also since no one is actively trading in the current market, so that it gets faster already. And then there are also a lot of new dApps were built on different blockchains and also in its own blockchain, and that creates limitation as well. Because for example, if today like we're very close to Neo, if Neo used to launch a game, but you need to get the Neo token. You need to get gas. So and then it's other new set of equipment that you need to prepare for using some dApps on other blockchains. So the enrollment rate is still a long way to go. And then, but like we mentioned, like they're from large quantity to high quality. That's something that is been changing. And then they all aim at longer term operations. And the last thing is, it's very interesting to see that other blockchains are actually picking up. So Ethereum was launched for, EOS was launched for a quarter, and there were over 90 dApps were created on EOS. And then it's an amazing number, because now we saw that in Q3 on Ethereum, there's total 5 billion times of transactions happened on the Ethereum blockchains on those dApps. But in the same quarter, there like the amount of transactions have reached 5 million for EOS, and it is only by less than 9,000 users. So meaning to say, like I in the last week I was playing gambling game on EOS. Again, I'm not here to promote gambling, but I'm just like trying it out. They start. It's really fast. So basically, people like sit there, press. The result come up really fast, instead of like I mentioned, if you're on Ethereum, you press and then you go out for lunch and then come back for the result. So yeah, it's the experience has been improved, even though it's still at like early stage where a lot of people are still like looking at it, but the problems that we addressed over the last year, like scalabilities and all these problems, seems not to be a problem anymore. When there are more blockchains like targeting different use case and specifications launched, and then Neo have over 10 dev games launched in over last quarters as well. So yeah, so I'm here to share about that, because I want to be the I think that it is still very early at this stage, but we definitely see the future of that, and then we're here actively to promote to share with the Bangkok community. And if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask. Yes.
I recognize to just more gaps on the US network. Any of the others?
Yeah, so we used to pay a lot of attention to the Netherlands network, because they are Beijing-based company as well. Our office is like really close. It's like next building. So what happened we see is like, so there are a lot of dApps, but they are dApps at like this stage. What I mean is like they run an incentive program to developers. So any developers, if you create something on the Netherlands blockchain, I will reward you on around the price is around over 20K to 50K per week. So and then the numbers went up really quickly. According to their official announcement, there's like 4,000 dApps being created on Netherlands. But the fact is, when you look at the qualities there, there are actually only one or two is actually working. Yeah, and then because Snap.com also provide consultancy service to other developers. So when we are talking to developers, developers actually struggle on choosing which blockchain to develop. So and then when they were looking at Nebulous, it's a very good blockchain, very stable, and because we developed something on it before, but the fact is, when developers choose blockchains, they look at numbers of users, and then it is easy to develop, and then when they look at number of users, the size of communities of Nebulous is way lesser than Ethereum. And so I would say I look at it in a tech perspective. It's a good blockchain. It still has like a long way to go, but it has to grow its community before it really attracts people. Because when like last year when I was in Asia, there's some sort of difficulties I met as well. So when your blockchains only have like 100,000 users or token holders, and then a game develops something, say for example, game is easier to adopt. So if the developer develop a game on your blockchains, what's going to happen next is, say for example, 2% of the token holder is actually playing the game. So when I have a community of 100,000, so 2% is like 2,000. So 2,000 people putting money on my game means they are losing money. So and then I have to take a lot of efforts to promote your tokens. So yeah, that's the problem that they need to solve. Yeah.
So as I understand it, you think that each of the mainnets will have their own area of specialties,
yeah,
when it comes to different industries, whether it be financial or gaming or betting or anything like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you
at least this is what they promote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you see? I mean, a lot of these felt, when I create a lot of the apps, that they felt like they were each apps, like the 3D one or something like that. Do you still feel like that's going to always continue?
No, it's when you look at it, it's always like each quarter you change the directions, right? And then when people start, oh, they like it's time to build collectibles because a lot of people are building collectibles, and then it suddenly change.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it changed like within every quarter. So that is right now is the direction right now, and then it might change. And we're in close relationship with a lot of game developers. They are building some really amazing stuff already, ready to launch at the end of the year. So we'll be able to see a lot of new stuff coming in. Yeah. Any other questions? Yes.
For Neo blockchain.
Sorry?
Neo blockchain.
Yeah.
For gaming or the app.
Yeah.
Right now, that almost I want to compare how many percent from China and percent
For Neo?
Yeah.
I would say there's it's like 70% is from China. Yeah, because they run a game like development like hackathon or something like that, and then they're mainly focusing on the Chinese community, but they also have a very strong community in overseas. So yeah, that's what happens here. You said you have questions for me when I came in?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I ask you another one?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, a few weeks ago at another presentation here in Bangkok, there's a Ireland-based party called Loom Network.
Yeah, Loom. Yeah.
And so they are doing plasma cash in their system.
Yeah.
So which takes them to be like super fast. But something that you know.
Yeah. I know. Okay, I know. So yeah.
Is that because you're talking about how slow Ethereum network is, and is that something that you believe in these kind of like?
Yeah. So we're aware of that. So we heard Loom, like we're actually friends with them. So for Loom, like they're building a sidechain solution, especially for games for Ethereum network. So what they're solving is right now, like maybe the assets were still on the Ethereum, but the core logic of the game or the gameplay would be on Loom network. So what happens is like I can send the microUtility on Loom network, and then maybe they created another set of cryptocurrency there. So when I send it to the loop, and then Moon Network will lock up my CryptoKitty, and then they will release another CryptoKitty on the blockchains. And it might be free. I'm not sure. I haven't studied on it yet, but that's how it works. So I can fight with other CryptoKitty or do whatever. And after I finish, I just need to send it back to my mainnet. That's how it works. Yeah. I think their product is already launched. We have a few like close partners who we're testing on their mainnet. Yeah. We follow all these.
So you see that as a viable alternative then?
Yeah, it works in concept, but I don't know whether it's like there's any bugs and it's ready to use. But in theoretical, it solves that kind of problems.
Kind of stole the words out of my mouth on that one because yeah, I hear a lot about how side chains or supplementing Ethereum regarding scaling and so forth.
Yeah.
But like if there, I'm probably along with you guys, just wondering, are side chains going to be necessary? As you know, Ethereum seems to have really slowed down, you know, based on the number of users actually using ETH out there. Like, is the scalable solution going to become a problem, or do you think that you know it's going to be developed over time with the natural organic growth versus the spike is going to, they won't need side chains for ETH?
I think scalability would not be a problem.
Yeah. Okay.
Considering that a lot of solutions were being developed, and then I know that if their team was and consensus were doing like something on it, like for example, they're solving some problem, such as they're working on something new so that like the users does not have to pay gas. So it's actually the project developer will be paid the gas for the users. There are a lot of new things happening. What I see in would be a problem in the long run is there are so many blockchains out there. If you look at CoinMarketCap on top 200, there are over 30 different blockchains launched or either being developed. So when they launch, like there will be a lot of blockchains, and each of them they're growing their ecosystem, and so it will be like a huge battle on scaling all the developers, but at the same time they will be fighting to survive. So and then if all of them survive, so meaning to say for example, if 30 blockchains, each of the blockchain have one very good debt that we might need to use every day. So we have to hold 30 different types of tokens to access to these services. That would be a problem. Yeah, that's great.
And how are you going to solve this problem? Obviously, there is one point in time that it has to unify. You have to have a single blockchain.
Yeah. So right now there are a lot. There are teams that working on it, like cross-chain network, something like that. So and then if people choose to solve it in a centralized way or decentralized way. In a centralized way, we build like a centralized wallet. So it's like a exchange wallet. So when you use it, you change your tokens, and then you have access to these stacks of different blockchains. So a decentralized way would be a cross-chain network. Yeah, that's something we're gonna release in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah. But not yet to do the launch. Yeah. Yeah. That's something that we eventually want to solve.
Okay, so that's it. And we're gonna move into our panel. We have several questions. You guys I'll take the chairs and I can get the panel back for us. Okay, let's welcome our panelists. Mr. Chen, CEO of BangkokCryptoClub. maybe here will be better. Or I think maybe two will be better.
Okay.
That way.
Okay.
Or how it will be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I have several questions for you guys and maybe I'll introduce Mr. Chen again to you guys because I didn't formally introduce him. So actually there, yeah, I did. Short though, but I did. So their team flight from Hangzhou, which is the headquarters of Alibaba. So they fly all along from Hangzhou to here for the event, and really appreciate for that. And Mr. Chen, the full name is Chen Lei. So he a serial entrepreneur and participated in several national projects such as the National Smart Agricultural and established a mass-level AI promotion service platform based on App Store big data. So he will be speaking Chinese, and I'm going to translate for him. And I have several questions on my list. The first one I like to ask is, what's your definition for killer dApp? Like, is a killer dApp supposed to decided by the number of users or by any criteria you guys would give?
I would say number of users and frequency of usage. I mean, if like there's something that has like there are a lot of products outside. They after the promotions they might have like 500,000 installations or they call it like 500,000 users. But if no one is actually using it on a daily basis, it's not considered like a killer, I would say. Yeah.
Maybe during the next thing, I will ask Mr.
I mean, absolutely. It's gonna all be dictated by user base, and that's why you can see. I mean, as you discussed before, that support dies for all of these apps, and because there's no users bringing money, and you can't rely on development during a bear market. So I think it's going to weed out a lot of avenues. Definitely.
你觉得就是杀手级的 dApp 的定义，你觉得它应该用什么来定义？有交易量吗，或者是用户量？
就是杀手级，我觉得就是要有用户，首先第一点。
First of all, still the number of users.
对，第二点就是我觉得这个应用必须就是利用区块链来改变生产关系。
Okay, so he thinks that this application must be using blockchain technology to change the relationship of production.
改变生产关系还是用户还是不利用户。
And it will be relying on the tokenization economy. Okay. So, and I think if you guys have in mind of a list of any of the dApps that would meet those criteria to become a killer dApp, do you have any one of them in mind to pop up?
Jeremy to answer.
Yeah.
I can steal his idea.
No, yeah, sure. Well, I mean, everything's changing every couple months, but I still have a strong belief in CryptoKitties, and as you know, you discussed, they can be put into cars, they can put into airplanes, they can stack in other varieties, and they can cross-pollinate to other games. So it's going to be the games that make the best partnerships out there in working in other ecosystems and really dragging that user base and kind of merging together. So I would say that's probably the most important is that we all kind of work together here. We all just are competing. And,
is it CryptoKitty already a killer dApp, or it will?
I mean, it's number one as far as, you know, number of users right now, or if it isn't that, you know, Ethermon, but they all kind of play, you know. But I mean, I think I looked today, it was maybe 500 transactions or users, you know. It was a very small amount, just even in today's amount. So it's hard, it's really hard to say. But
what's going to come next.
Yeah. I'll come up with numbers to support. Um, so when we look at okay, so when we so I was actually writing an article about this. So and then so it was like the not like a debt that has the largest amount of non-zero transactions in history is CryptoMonday. It has over 200,000 non-zero transactions. And then when we go back to like just now I mentioned about a pure depth would have a frequently used, and then there's only two depths that has um, a monthly active users of over 1,000 in the last year in 2018. That's IDEX and Delta. And for CryptoKitty is the third one. It doesn't meet the thousands, but it meets the hundreds. So at least there's still hundreds kitty being solved or being trade every day. And but I totally agree with Jamie that when it has established more partnership, when it creates more utilities for the kitties, it would go even bigger. What I've seen over the last in the second quarter of this year is there are some games that they were building, they were built try to steal users from CryptoKitty. So what they did is they created some kind of animal. So it's either dogs or whatever things. So you can send your CryptoKitty to them, and then they send their creatures to you. So what they did is like they're stealing users from CryptoKitty. So if we find if we put a different definition of hero depth, I think CryptoKitty is already there. Yeah, because people steal their users.
Mr. Chen，你觉得脑海里有没有符合就是像手机应用的这样的项目？ No. I think okay, none of the project.
说一下原因，是因
Yeah.
为因为本身我是做技术的，那么我觉得现在面临很大的两个问题，一个是公正的经济模型，另外一个是底层供应链的支持还不够，就是技术还很原始。
So Mr. Chen himself is focusing on technology, and he thinks that right now the technology support for the whole blockchain is still quite primitive, and like the economically incentive systems, the design of the economical incentive systems, and also the basic layer of the blockchain network, it doesn't strong enough to support a killer app.
I mean, if we put it as strong tokenomics and it fits the scalability needs of that, I think betting game on EOS would be your criteria as EOS 上面的赌博游戏完全满足了。Yeah, but it has
就是最近那个 US 的流水量最大的游戏。
Yeah, it has over like 1.5 million transactions per day.
Why do you think of the security problem of the EOS Bank? Because I heard that it got hacked 3 times.
Yeah, I mean it's the quality of the code that they're writing. I mean it is not the problem of the blockchain itself. It happens on Ethereum apps as well, right?
Yeah. How well the contracts are written.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with.
Yeah, but the reason why we see less likely to happen on the Ethereum network is because it's been over a year since similar things happened. So yeah.
But I do think like a centralized killer that won't have such kind of security problem like EOS Bank. Won't be so bad as EOS Bank, like got hacked 3 times. So I was talking like because we are taking you as a client because of the number of transaction and the users, you could be listed on the killer app. But I was talking about the security problem, and maybe it doesn't that like secure as the centralized killer apps. Killer apps.
US Bank 好像差异，US Bank 好像最近也受这个账户好像也被受到黑客攻击了，好像也已经被盗2次了。对，对，3次，应该是3次，对，所以说，我觉得就是说，还是回到这个问题，我觉得杀手之路还是要等底层相对而言完善了。
So Mr. Chen still think like killer app won't be existed unless that's the basic instruction of the blockchain network be quite ready for that to support that. So our next question would be what types of advantages do decentralized games have over centralized ones? Sorry, Kyle?
Okay. I think we mentioned it before.
Yeah, like, actually we mentioned a couple
of times before. Like it's more collaborative. Is it the word that? Is it the correct word? Yeah, I mean like
collaborative.
More can be done.
Yeah. That's why people like start talking about the movie Ready Player One. But every time when they talk about decentralized game, because you can use the assets.
And that's kind of why we're all here, right?
Yeah.
Decentralizing things, and I hate to use that buzzword, but we all work kind of together, as a whole world. Like we're always going to have a better outcome with the number of minds that are behind that than one single central entity. And custodialship of those assets is super important. So, to me, it is that code is kind of the philosophy we live by, in creating these virtual worlds.
And Mr. Chen, 你觉得就是去中心化的游戏，相比中心化的游戏，它的优势在哪？
我是觉得这样，首先一点就是，在中心化的游戏规则是不透明的。
The game rules of the centralized game are not transparent.
去分布式的肯定是不透明的。然后还有一点就是，我认为最有意思的点在于，如果是做成区块链游戏的话，最终可以让用户自主的去创造游戏规则，对游戏内容。
So by designing decentralized game, eventually even the players they can make game rules or even design the game by themselves.
通过智能合约，通过用户去编写智能合约去实现。
So the players even got the right maybe to write a smart contract of the games. And coming up next is I think this one is quite similar to our last one. Why do games need blockchain? This is like another version of what's the advantage of decentralized game, right? I'm gonna skip this one. Okay, the last one is any prediction for decentralized game and app market in 2019, which is next year. Prediction?
In app market.
The app market and game. What do you think are gonna, any predictions coming up new, or which area will be more strong competitions, those kind of predictions?
You are tap.com, right? You guys do games.
I know it's really a tricky or hard, question to like give prediction on a blockchain world.
I'm so bad at predictions. Every time I try to predict the price, it goes against me. Yeah.
And not financial advice, so please. I hate to say a game. Like, that's the game.
No one's gonna.
Yeah, I mean, there will be a few things that I'm pretty sure. There are more like wallets are going to be created. games would build their own wallets. Like anything related to the crypto world will have their own wallets because that's where people put money and it is where the entry of the decentralized world is. So there will be more wallets, and then of course like higher quality games will be developed. I mean it's been developed, so we waited for like 6 months already, so it's all like another 3 months. And then third, I would say like there were more studios or game companies would start developing. They're already doing it. There will be more coming in because basically if they want to develop anything on the blockchain, they don't need registration of approval of the governments or the authorities. So they were struggling on that. So they are shifting towards building a blockchain.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the biggest thing I've noticed, I was just at the Thailand game show, and there's so many titles that I can't play because I'm in the US, and it was so disappointing. And I think what's going to happen here is we're going to release the floodgates on a lot of this. I think that's going to decentralized gaming. Everything's going to take killer data. Anything that's being created and supported and has a good runway, that didn't spend all their money during, the bull run and they survive a bear market will absolutely emerge with some kind of, good stance. Yeah.
你觉得19年对于大的游戏的市场有没有什么预测，或者你觉得有没有什么趋势？
因为我不知道，是一个，就是作为一个游戏开发者来说，我觉得未来区块链游戏本身是一个很好的方向，对于游戏行业来说，它是一个很好的方向。那我觉得2019年区块链游戏会有很大的飞跃，是因为我觉得未来1到2年，区块链技术会变得很成熟。那么区块链游戏有可能用区块链技术可以做更多游戏行动，而不是像现在简简单单都是一些国类或者是金融类的一些游戏。
So Mr. Chen is only speaking for a game because as a game developer, he do believe that not just coming up the next year, but in many years ahead, that along with the development of the blockchain technology, that the blockchain, the decentralized game, will become more interesting, or more diverse. Because right now, the most of the decentralized games we have are like financial related, like betting games, gaming platform, or like dice. You guys, some of you guys probably have played on like Dice to Win or those kind of platforms before. But yeah, and definitely believe that it's going to be more diverse in the future and even as interesting as centralized games. Okay, so thank you guys, thank you. And you still have got any questions for any of the panelists?
Apart from decentralized exchange and game, what have the app you think that you will get adopted soon?
I think those tools would still be the top at a short period of time, because game is easier to understand, and like when you see any of the technology become public adapted, game is basically the first applications, and then for DEX, because there are a lot of arguments of centralized exchange being not safe, and then the user experience of decentralized exchange will be improved over time. Like basically, I use Kyber as well, so I feel like it's very smooth already. Nothing really like struggles. So those two will be remaining on the same. Like people will start will allocate all their resources on building on those until those are really, what should I say, like it's already like super mature, right? And people start looking at new ways.
Any other questions?
Yeah. I would like to know what was the spark of that? You know, what makes you start it? When did you know that this has to happen?
Well, that's you're talking about my vision, right?
Yes.
Oh.
At that time in the past.
That's,
Not the vision today, not about the future,
yeah.
but what makes you make it because you that was the thing to do.
You know, last year, so I was in A-Chain, so I actually came to Bangkok 2 times as like to meet with the local community, because basically we are one of the many blockchain that exists in the last time. So and then it is like, so if we look at each of the blockchain as an operating system, as an OS. So there will be so many OS competing with like fighting for developers. So by that time, like last year, I met with over like 100 different developers of companies, and then we're trying to bring them into the ecosystem. And then at the time, when I saw that there were some other blockchain, they are putting in millions of funds to the gaming studios to bring them in to not build on Ethereum, to build on their blockchains. I know that, oh, like it's gonna be a huge fight, and then I know that like eventually there might be only like 5 or 6 blockchain will exist, and the game will end soon, so we have to start fast. And then at the time, I only know about CryptoMonday at the early of this year. So and then I start searching for that, and then I saw, oh, there's like only one website that they're doing such kind of thing. They're putting in dApps on Ethereum blockchains on their website, and then I was able to search. Oh, there was some like fun stuff, and then we bought this domain from a construction company. Luckily,
How much we spend?
Yeah, it's expensive anyway. So, but we got lucky because it's like they don't know anything about blockchain apparently.
They don't know how expensive
Yeah.
it's gonna be.
Yeah, and then when we start doing, there were like another 10 or 15 companies start doing the same thing as us. So I know, okay, if no one is doing the same thing, it might be wrong. But a lot of people start doing the same thing with you. It's a good sign. Yeah. And then some of them already died, so it's another good sign.
Okay. So any other questions? That's all for today then. Thank you. Thank you everyone. And thank you. The ones who raise your hands for questions, I'm gonna give you guys our gift for you. Okay. It's over.